Good evening and welcome to another edition of that Millwall podcast. Oh, okay. Looks like we won't be. We're only on YouTube tonight, then, by the looks of it. StreamYard's not letting me connect to Twitter. Oh well. All good. Welcome, One and Wall. How is everyone? There we go. We're all done. Good evening and welcome. Good evening, Frankie. You all right?
Very good, mate. Been a long time. How you doing?
Yeah, it's been a little while. Has everybody missed us? Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. Billy Smith, Connor, Daily Millwall, Desi, Andrew. What you having for dinner, mate? And yes, you definitely got to get the staff, mate. Dan Riggs, and Peter Sullivan. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Yeah, unfortunately, no Twitter tonight, just on YouTube, which I will get sorted. Fucking StreamYard. Anyway, Mark Murphy, good evening, good evening, good evening. Make sure you like and subscribe. There is 9 of you so far, when there's over 40 of you watching. So come on, just press the button. It don't do you any harm, does it, Frankie?
Not at all, mate. It's free.
No.
Does us a lot of favours.
That's it. That's it. So, yeah, we just thought we'd do a couple of shows before we go everything new. So we keep the old logos on and we keep the me before we go to Turkey and get our teeth and our hair done. And then we'll be back. So without further ado, there's about 50 of you watching, 20 likes. So by the time the intro stops, hopefully those of you watching will press like and make us all feel better. See you in a minute.
Language you don't usually hear on television. Millwall in London's Dockland.
No one likes us, but we don't care. We're that Millwall podcast. Loud every Friday night right here. Legends like Jimmy and Abdul, Teddy Sheringham in the kitchen at 2. Super Neil Harris, a fucking legend too. Through the good times and the strife, we support the Lions all our life. This ain't no place for fancy feet. This is fucking Millwall through and through. Located on our very own John Pedersen way. Let them all come, let them have their say. Millwall till we die. With that Millwall podcast, loud every Friday night right here.
Good evening and welcome back. If you've not joined us before, my name is Mickey Simpson. That is Frankie. We are that Millwall podcast. It's no holds barred. We speak the truth. Millwall podcast, really. There's no PC about us. Well, there isn't at the moment. Announcements and everything else next season, maybe, but no, there won't be. Right, tonight we're going to sit there. The reason we thought we'd come on and do one is, one, we missed it, and two, we just thought we couldn't part with our missus for any longer, so we thought we'd do it for a Friday night. And also there's been a lot of events, I suppose, over the last week or two. We covered the Saudis. We covered that was bullshit, and it looks like it's proved to be bullshit.
That was like a million years ago now, hadn't it?
Yeah, done it just.
Mental.
So we've done that. We covered that. This week we've had emotional breakdowns from fans on Twitter over the fact that Savile's gone. We've obviously got a load of transfer rumours and everything else running around, which we're going to touch on. We've got some performance stats we can run at. And also we've got talk about Neil's rebound plan and the interviews he's done. And then obviously brief discussion about the same old pre-season friendlies. And obviously you lovely lot in the chat. And then, yeah, we go from there. So I suppose realistically, we might as well crack on. Actually, have you been up to anything exciting, Frankie, or not?
Nothing really, mate. Now the football's over. I don't know what I'll do with my time.
No, that's
Sit
it.
about the house all day waiting to speak to you lot.
No, that's it, innit? That's it. So yeah, we have got, which I will put. I'll put a link in the chat in a little while. We are running. We have donated, and I can show you them in a little while. We've donated 4 limited edition cups. They're poppy cups, and they're we won't forget. And basically, we've donated them to the Millwall Trust. The veteran side of them are doing a walk for Tommy Trek, where they're raising money for the Royal British Legion. So anything what goes to this will go to them. It's not ours. It's going direct to them through this raffle. And I'll put a link up. I think it's £5 a ticket. You can buy as many or as little as you want. And then at the end of June, it will close, and then there'll be 4 winners, and you will win the 4 cups. They're limited edition. I think there's 2 blue, 1 green, and 1 red. And they are the only 4 ever made. And yeah, for last season, with last season's kit on as well. So yeah, hopefully you'll want one of those. We'll put those up in the chat in a little while. So yeah, Alex Neil this week obviously done a few bits with Will from Southwark News. And one of the comments, so there's a few standouts, but one of the comments was, this is going to be more of a Preston than Norwich. It's going to be a steady growth over instant success. I mean, what's your thoughts on there?
I think it's probably something that we all knew we needed, right? We knew this weren't going to be a quick 1 season turnaround. The squad needed a lot of work. The whole club was going in a different direction, and we needed a manager that was going to be here for the long term, not a year, see you later. Do you know what I mean? We needed something long term, and the fact that he knows that, I think it's encouraging.
And he signs a new contract.
Yeah, exactly. So it seems that we're all pretty aligned.
Which has put him at the club now till, what was it, 2058, I think it was.
Do you think? That'd be some fucking contract. That imagine if we have to sack him. Jesus Christ! We have to sell the stadium.
No, I think he's signed another 2 years or so. So I think it was here till 26, 27 or something, and now I think it's about 28, 29. I think it said, didn't it? Something like that. So a couple of years on top of what he did. So yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, and that's pretty much as long as you get at Mandic's level now, isn't it? No one's signed past 30, so 2030. Sorry, so that's a good deal for him, and a good deal for us, I think. I thought his comments about needed to grow in the window and steady progression, player trading and stuff were all, I said it was nothing new, but it was refreshing to hear it from a manager, hear it on a positive.
Yeah,
positive
I mean
spin,
the other. Yeah, no, I agree, and I think the other good point. Again, let us know in your comments what you think. So yeah, what's that button do? Sorry, I've just seen a new button. Oh, there you go. So if you want to make a comment now, the first person who makes a comment, it looks as if we've got a button on here what auto posts your comments onto the screen as you comment. So I've highlighted it and see what's what. Oh, there you go. Look.
There you go.
Down the bottom. Yeah. It's quite cool, isn't it? So yeah. One of the other things he sat there and said was he praised the club and the board, like the backing from the board, the youth, you know, the long-term planning and everything else with it, which is, again, thanks, Mark Murphy. Fart. Yes, thanks. Good evening, Chris. Which is a complete contrast to what we had this time last year.
Yeah, for anyone that hasn't watched it, obviously we recorded some season recap episodes throughout the last couple of weeks, and we sort of looked back at this time last year, and it was anything but harmonious, wasn't it, between Neil and the board? I think, to be fair, we probably felt that at the time. That's Neil Harris, not Alex Neil, just to clarify. But to have now everyone on the same page, and I think everything he said that I read, I agreed with. The youth direction is better. The staff around the place is, and the approach is more future thinking than we have been probably any time in our history. So that's encouraging, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's exciting that it's to where it is now. That there seems to be, you know, we were lucky enough to interview, or I was lucky enough to interview. What was his name? Kevin Nugent. the other week, and again the video's on there and it's on TikTok now, and it'll be posted across other platforms as we move on. But he was very honest with what he was saying. He was saying that it's enjoyable that there's communication between him and the manager now. There's communications between him and Gallen, and people genuinely want to know about the kids, want to know how they're doing. And Alex Neil's like, if we think they're ready, then I'll bring them in for training. And his attitude, what he's installing into his kids are, if you get the opportunity to go train with the first team, take it with both hands, run with it. Don't waste that opportunity at all, because it will just, you'll regret it forever. And I just think that again from previous, not just with Harris, but with Rowett and all that, there was nothing. The youth wasn't really looked upon.
No.
And now it's looked upon, which is great. It's a huge change to where we were, to what we were. So it's great. I think it's much, much better.
The interesting thing is, and again, if anyone hasn't watched the Nugent interview, give it a watch, because I actually thought he spoke incredibly well. Was really open and honest about his role and what he does. The thing that's interesting is obviously what we see now, these players coming through. We look at it and think, things have got better overnight. This is probably years and years of work and development and a change approach going back, probably 3-4 years to make sure you're getting the cream of the crop of young talent rather than the dregs that no one else wants.
Yeah.
So credit's due. There's a lot of hard work must be going into getting the likes of, I know he's gone now, but the likes of SA into the club and stuff. It can't be easy to nurture them talents.
No, I totally agree with you. I think it's got to be. It can't be easy. Bringing in these young kids and then trying to get them in and make sure that they're doing the right stuff and all that lot. So I think it's not an easy option. But the fact that the pathway's opened up, I've just put that link in the comments, and I've just pinned it to the top if anyone wants to get involved and do so. But I just think there's a whole, if you're a kid, and now you're seeing SA going to Palace for 13-14 million. There's chat about, other players having stuff, having opportunities and stuff like that. You're just like, mate, it's just worthy. You just want to crack on and get there, don't you? And look for the next lot.
Exactly, mate. And I think you look at someone like Bangor Williams as well. Obviously, went a very different path, not one that come through our youth team so much. We picked him out from non-league, and he played for us for a year, and then got his chance.
Yeah,
I think the fact that we're giving people these opportunities, and if you earn the shirt, you keep it. It is the way it has to be at a club like Millwall, and I think that's what, as fans, I think that's what we want to see. We want to see people that care about the club, care about the shirt, give it all on the pitch. And
that's it. I mean, Strong finished 24-25. We finished 8th, or 8 wins in the last 12, and we narrowly missed the playoffs. It was down to the final wire. So I mean, and another key quote from him was, we want to come out of this window stronger than what we go into it. So it shows to me that there is pre-planning. There is a structure around their madness, even though we might be looking there going, fuck me, it's the 13th of June, even though the window is now closed. Yeah. We are sitting there looking at it going, why haven't we signed anyone? Which again probably brings us nicely on to the next segment. So anyone on Twitter this week would have thought that George Savile had died. He hadn't. He's gone to Luton. Sources through our way, and obviously there was someone on Twitter who allegedly was a friend of George Savile. It seems that the club offered him a 50% reduction in his wages and offered him a year deal for a 30, he'll be 33 next year. Realistically, a year deal probably isn't good for him, because at the end of it, the chances of him going anywhere else will probably be really, really slim. So, I think he's taking a 2-3 year deal at Luton. He's probably on the same sort of money or thereabouts. And I mean, look, he did well for us. and we're not going to sit there and say he played 49 games for us last season. He's in the top 10 for defensive balls run, recoveries, etc. And I think he's looking at 10.5 recoveries and 4.4 interceptions per 90 minutes. So he is a major defensive presence. But football players move on. You're not right for the club. The club needs to move forward. It's that's it. There is no. I'm not going to shed a tear for George Saville. I'm just going to say thank you very much. You've done well, but then again, you were getting paid to do well. And wish you all the best in the future. Off you go. That's it. Job done.
Yeah, exactly, mate. I think we spoke about it during the week, didn't we? And I think what the club has done is exactly what I've done if I was the club in this situation. You've offered him a contract. All right, some reduced terms and a 1-year deal. I wouldn't offer him any more than a 1-year deal at 32 years old. The reduced terms, I get that from his point of view, it probably is a bit of a slap in the face. But my understanding, I'm not going to start throwing out numbers because I genuinely don't know, but I was under the impression he was one of the club's highest earners, if not the highest earner. They couldn't possibly justify keeping him on that wage if he was on that higher wage. He might not have been, admittedly.
Yeah, I don't think he's the highest, but he was on a good whack, yeah.
Right. So yeah, fair enough then. So he was up there. Even still, if he was only going to play half the games next year or play half the minutes, you can't justify paying someone that's only playing half the football a top wage. You just can't. I
mean, if you look at it realistically, sorry to cut in. If you look at it realistically, right? So we're going to probably have Billy and Casper.
Yeah.
If you have Savile as well, the chances you've got now is that if you have Savile, what's going to happen is that players like Kelly or any other ones we've got coming in, any of the youth, just ain't going to get an opportunity. So you're then going to stifle them. You're not going to be able to give them the chance. Hence why it was probably offered, you're going to play 20, 30. You're going to become a squad player, basically. Rather than a team player, you're going to become a squad player. And it just wasn't for him. He wants to play every game, which I understand. You're getting older in football. You want to set your family up as long as possible, didn't you?
Exactly that, mate. And I think for them reasons, that's why I would have done exactly what the club has done. You've offered him a contract what we thought was fair. He's got a better offer, in his opinion, somewhere else. Good for him. Like, I'm over the moon from there. He's been able to extend his career. He's done a good job for us. We can't slag him off. He's been pretty much ever present for the last 2 years. There's been some difficult days with this club, and he's always been able to stand up. I think there's a commentary about him. He was never injured. He featured in every game last year. How many other people could say that? So
yeah, and also at 32, he just turned 32, and he played, 3,641 minutes across 45 games.
Yeah, so exactly. That's no.
I don't know how that
small
works
thing.
out, but yeah, 49 appearances, but maybe that's
49 appearances might include cups and stuff.
Yeah. Strong possibility there. So yeah,
but he did a good job. But if we want to start moving forward, we need to gradually start improving these players. We've spoke about the need for a rebuild, and other fans said it for a long time. This is unfortunately what a rebuild looked like. Some of these popular players do have to go.
No, that's it. Completely agree. Just want to go on to a comment there while it's there. Deze. Yes, so they've got 39 million as a parachute payment from the Premiership, and they've got 11 or 12 million pound parachute payment from the Championship. So they're pretty much walking into League One with 50 million pound in parachute payments from Premier League and Championship. So they're not doing bad. And if they don't come straight up, then there's a fucking problem.
They might have the biggest budget, but they'll also have the biggest wage bill in that league by some distance, you think, with some of the people that will be on what is now Premier League money. So, they've got to sort that out. The biggest problem Luton have got, and I think this is where Savile does do them a favour, they've lost so many games in the last 2 years that dressing room will be absolutely broken. He'll fix that himself. He'll do so much work for that manager behind the scenes that he'll do a massive job for them.
He's just got to make sure that the manager keeps him sweet, because you don't want him to be the one leading the charge against you if you start fucking going up, as Joe Edwards allegedly found out. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was him or not. There's, but yeah, I mean, he would be the one that I'd sit there and say he does look strawberry most of the time, doesn't he? But if you catch Savile smiling, then you're laughing. So yeah, Rob Quinn, I've highlighted you. You've seen your message on there. I've highlighted it. I will come back to it in a little bit, mate. So, yeah, GC London. Yeah, you get because now there's so much TV money, you do get a solidarity payment. I think it is. It's not a parachute payment as such. It's not like the Prem where you'll get 3. You just literally get a solidarity payment of one, which is pretty much like a share of TV revenue or whatever. So yeah, it's about 11 million, I think. So I was told. But yeah, hey ho. So yeah, thanks, George. Off you go. Good luck. Hope you do well. It is a shit bit of a club, but hey ho, if you can,
I think he'll do a good job for him, mate.
If you can get him in League 2, then you'll be a Millwall hero. So yeah, no problem. Can't really say the same for Liam Roberts. Didn't really play a lot for us. Did have a few games. I think there again. I think there he wanted a number 1 position. So I'm hearing through a few people, agents and media, and the club didn't think he was number 1 ability, and because of that, and he didn't want to take a temporary position, temporary number 1 until Jensen come back, and I think he didn't want it. So yeah, he's gone to Mansfield, and to be fair, I'd probably say going to Mansfield will allow him to drop out the public eye, chill out, because let's be honest, no fucker's going to go up north to fucking give him abuse, are they? So, and wish him, I wish him all the best for him and his family. I think he's suffered a lot. I think, Palace, the media attention and the piles on and everything else does affect people. I'm not going to lie. I mean, again, get your bingo cards out. When I was found on the board, you say the wrong thing on Twitter and there are pile on, especially like when things are happening and you just comment on the wrong thing and there is pile-ons. And if you look at that, it's not pleasant. It's not nice. But I'm not saying in any way that I had the same level of pile-on as him. But you can understand when you look at some of the people out there in the public eye, you look at people, on both sides. So you look at people like, Katie Hopkins or Tommy Robinson and people along those lines, those sort of people on both sides and everything else. But that sort of line of well-known public face, when they get a pile on, I think it would do us in if we had it for, a day or two. But these people have got to have it every day of their life. And I just can't imagine the stress for it would be unbelievable. I couldn't have that. It would fucking do my head in constantly. But
particularly, mate, when the thing that the pile-on is about is ultimately you turn up to work one day and doing your job.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
He made a mistake. All right, fair enough. But the reaction after was ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, Dave said there, Roberts only left the club because of death threats due to Massa's incident. Yeah, but it's ridiculous that, you get death threats for that. So, yeah, goalkeeping coach, that's in the process. I've heard a few names, and I'm not going to mention any names, but there has been a few names about, and I think it's in the process. I think it's just literally, it's a holiday season, so a lot of people are away on holiday and whatnot, like what we said last year when people go, where's all the transfer? A lot of the players are off because the season finished fairly late. And then, you've got obviously the World Cup, you've got the Football World Cup and everything else. So not the World Cup, it's a Club World Cup. So, yeah, you got a lot of fans all over. So, yeah. Mark Murphy. Yeah, I was, unfortunately, mate. Sorry, mate. I didn't know. You didn't know. I would have emailed you and told you. I would have given you a picture of me, a few photos on the Millwall website if you search hard enough, if you want to see me in my glory. B Line says Roberts showed he was decent in the short time, but the kick and how he managed after that meant he's not mentally built for this level. Not that anyone should get that level of abuse over an accident. Totally agree with you. We were joking today, weren't we? I don't know. Maybe I might see if I can get it. Maybe, but we were joking about Paris. Paris done an interview. I don't know if you've seen it, but he did an interview where he said that his dad said to him, "You can pick. There's 2 teams you can pick. What I can take you to." And it's up to you which one you want to pick. And his granddad or something was a Millwall fan, and Paris decided to choose Palace. And we were having a conversation, which, you know, it'd be good to see what your thoughts are in the comments. But we said choosing of your football team isn't a choice; it's a destiny. It's like your pathway. You're either into football or you're not into football. And if you're into football, then your club sort of chooses you, your family background. Do you know what I mean? And that's, you know, but yeah, he was adamant that, you know, he got the choice. He could decide which team he wanted between Palace and Palace and Millwall, and he chose Palace.
He made the right decision for himself, mate, because he would not have fitted in down here. So I'm glad he made that decision.
You can't blame the fella, mate. He's got one of those faces, what meant he was probably bullied as a child throughout his whole school life. And then you would have thought that would have been enough for him. But then he goes out and buys Palace. And, you know, he just continues to, you know, probably get bullied now. But bless him, he's, you know, obviously that's all allegedly. I have no proof that he was or wasn't bullied at school. So, yeah, just in case his lawyers are watching, I don't want him ranting at me like he did at the BBC.
Yeah. I think, as we said, mate, the fact that he chose his football club just seemed what a baffling notion. Never heard anything like it.
Yeah.
Like you're given your football club at birth and you're stuck from to the day you fucking die, and that's the one consistent in your life. And the fact that he chose it, I think, probably speaks a lot about him as a bloke. And
Andrew Roberts says Roberts going doesn't make sense. He would have been number 1 until Jensen become available again. But if Roberts was playing well till Christmas, then Jensen couldn't expect to come back in. I think it's not as straightforward as that. I think that Jensen is contracted to be Millwall number 1. He was employed as Millwall number 1. And I think it doesn't really matter how he plays, to be fair, that he will be Millwall number 1 to a level. But everything I'm hearing with people that in training, he was head and shoulders above Roberts. So, you know, Roberts was good in individual games, but if we'd have seen more of him, would he have been? I don't know. So, yeah.
Peter it was obviously his decision, wasn't it? As far as I'm aware, was he offered a contract as well? There was definitely talking to him, wasn't there?
Yeah, no, he was offered. He just didn't want to take it. He wasn't offered a number 1 position, and he didn't want it. He wanted a number 1 position, and yeah, that was it. So yeah, Watford and Norwich signed 3 players. We've got no one. I wouldn't say we got no one. I think there are some players signed, but I think they're not announcing stuff yet. So yeah, I'd hold off for the moment. And no, I'm not going to do it. Mickey in a suit, up in front of the beak. Yeah. I heard that as well, Alex, because he had something about him allegedly back in the day. He was quite a good keeper. So yeah, I think that would be quite good. I see his mate's gone to Wigan though, isn't he? Denzel. He's left. Who's he left? Reading, and he's gone to Wigan. So yeah, we want quantity. We want quality signings, not what quantity. We want quality signings, not quantity. At Daily Mill, yeah, it's a bit like us. You want quality shows, just not shows going out for show's sake, I suppose. Yeah, a bit like us. Brian King would probably make a good coach. I think he's a bit old now. What is he, 70 odd something now? 73, 75?
Yeah, I think he might struggle there, mate. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I think you would as well. It's a curse you can't break. I was taking, there you go, look, here we've got some of them, what we wanted in. I was taken to the den as a football mad kid and was smitten from day one. No choice to make. Parish ruined Roberts. Yeah. Jordan Archer is our new goalkeeping coach. Yeah, that'd be quite funny. In all honesty, with a retained list of players and the players who are injured and or out on loan, we don't really need more players, in my opinion. Just a decent goalkeeper is needed until Jensen is fully fit. we were discussing this the other day, weren't we, as well? But we'll come on to that bit in a minute, on a general discussion in a minute. So let's finish up what we're seeing. We're going to the signings, what we're rumoured to be looking at. I'm going to do the first one pure and simply because it's fairly easy to say, and then you can say the second and the third one. So yeah, that's fairly straightforward. There we go. So the first one is obviously Sturge, left back at Chelsea, out of contract allegedly the end of this month. 20 years old, England under 18s, ex-Brighton Academy. He's an attack-minded fullback with pace and technical ability. We will be putting something up about him. We've seen him, but we will be putting something up about him on our website and social media and on here shortly. Loan spell of Millwall 2025, played 15 games. He fits Millwall's young profile for growth based signings. You know, I don't want to use the word asset, but he does have a sell-on value. If he does well for us, he helps us out in a year or two. There is a potential for him to give us a few quid and help us reinvest in the next side, isn't it?
I'm going to be completely honest here, mate. I think I'm a little bit torn on Sturge. I think he did a decent job when he come in, and I'd be interested to get everyone's opinion in the chat.
Leave Merv alone, mate. Merv's a good lad.
I think he's talking about Parish. I'm a bit torn on him. I think he did well when he come in. He did better than I thought he was gonna. I'm not convinced he's good enough for the Championship. If Brian was to get injured for a significant amount of time, like he tends to do, would I be comfortable with Sturge coming in for 10, 15 games? I don't know.
You rated Scallon, didn't you?
Yeah, I thought it was all right. Yeah, but obviously we didn't see enough of him, and again, it was made of glass, so I'm not sure I'd be going back in for him either. But I might be the only one. Maybe I was the only one that didn't see something in him. And if you think he's good enough, get it in the chat. Tell me I'm wrong. But
let us know any rumours you've heard. And yeah, we're let us know what's what. So yeah, what you reading then, Daily Mail? Have to play that trick.
Yeah.
Have to play that trick, don't we? Same as when people say, oh God, what's that Scottish team where did Nesbitt come from him, didn't he? Where did Nesbitt come from?
Hibs.
No, it wasn't Hibs. The other one beginning with M.
Aberdeen, Motherwell.
No. Oh no, she's fine, thanks. Anyway, you walked into that one, you say.
We've been there for days if I hadn't, mate, so someone fucking had to.
No, that's it. Richard Cowley says Sturge is close. Yeah, we're hearing the same. I've got contacts at Chelsea who are basically telling me the same. So I think it's just there. We've got, there's agents and whatnot. But you know what? What I will say is that sometimes it's nice to let the club break stuff. Just because you can doesn't mean you have to. It's all right, breaking rumours and whatnot. But yeah, I think sometimes it's nice to have the excitement of the club announcing stuff rather than sitting there coming out going, yeah, we've just signed Messi. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. Fair enough, Mickey, but it makes you wonder why Roberts signed for us in the first place if he knew he'd never be number one. He signed for us in the first place, I think, because he had an idea because he was under Sarkic, wasn't he?
No, he signed after. He signed after Jensen signed. Yeah.
Did he?
About 2 days after.
So I think he knew that he was going to be. I think he was employed to be the cup, and the cup, etc. keeper. And then I think Palace just ruined him. I think the way that, which I find, and again, I don't really want to go back, but we'll go back to it and then we'll go on to your player, what you want to say in a sec. But for someone who's a CEO, stroke owner of a club, he has a level of a duty of care. And the BBC has a level of duty of care. And to allow that to pretty much kickstart the pylon, I think just makes an absolute mockery of all these messages from Palace and BBC saying, mental health matters and all this sort of stuff. No, it just means that it ticks a box to you because you don't really understand anything about it because you're the ones who fueled that fucking pylon in the first place. If he'd have kept his mouth shut, the media wouldn't have gone mad. It would have been talked about on maybe Match of the Day. A few of the podcasts in the week might have mentioned it. The bigger ones, might have mentioned it, but then it would have gone. And that's it. And I read somewhere that the only injury, allegedly, that Palace player got was the fact that he had an earring in. That it caught his earring as it come past and ripped his earring out.
Who knows, mate? As you said, I think it's one of them where this is... with everything we've got to say, we said about it. I do think at some point we've not heard the end of this. I think something will come out at some stage in terms of
there'll be a book eventually, won't there?
Yeah, or someone will put a complaint in or sue someone. Do you know what
Roberts, I mean? Yeah, I think Roberts will sue or something. Yeah.
Possibly. A lot of stuff will come out in the wash then, and that'll be fucking.
So come on then, we are looking at a Russian Premier League player.
No, we're not, mate. Oh, Russian Premier League. Yeah, sorry. Carry on.
He's a Russian Premier League player.
Yes,
so, what's his name, mate?
Olakunle, Olusegun.
Olusegun. Yeah, I'd say. Yeah, I think that's quite well. He's under contract till 2028. He's only 23. Plays as a winger. He plays left wing. Ranks highly for dribbles, ground duels, forward passing. He's short but powerful, 167 centimeters.
Yeah, it's tiny, isn't it?
I'm about 100, and I think I'm 177, so he's 10 centimeters, so he's 4 inches short.
You also once told us you're 6 foot, mate.
I'm not 6 foot. I'm 5'11", thereabouts, 5'10" now.
If Dan Ritz is still watching, he'll 100% remember that episode.
Yeah. I didn't say 6 foot, but yeah. And yeah, so he's short, but he's fast, unpredictable. Probably someone who we could do with. Whether or not he's coming or not, it's just rumours at the moment, isn't it? So yeah, Palace are favourites to sign Tanganga. I've heard someone else. I've heard someone else, but then again, we'll come on to Tango next. Okay, I'll highlight your bit and I'll come on to Tango because there's another one coming earlier. So yeah, go on.
Just on this Olusegun geezer. The first place I saw it, I think you're probably the same, was on a Nigerian website. You're thinking there'll be nothing in that. Do you know what I mean? But I actually believe it was the same website that may have initially leaked disease last year. So after my initial skepticism, they might actually be a bit more reputable than I initially gave them credit for. So probably one to keep an eye on. But there's videos online which you can take with a pinch of salt, but it looks like it's got a little bit about him, carries the ball.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Yeah, we'll look at getting a showroom put together. So yeah, we'll do that. But yeah, I think we need a winger. I think what they need now is someone who's got pace. We need someone who can put the balls up and go from there. So we're waiting and see on that one. Okay, third one then, or what's been rumoured in as a potential for now, but I don't know if he's really got. I think he's probably one for the future. I don't know if he's one to step in straight away. What's his name? Filip Marschall?
Marschall, yeah.
Goalkeeper from Aston Villa. 16 clean sheets, 119 saves, over 4,500 minutes played. Ranked top 6 in clean sheets and top 10 in long pass. That's obviously in League 2. He's very tall. He's 20 odd centimetres taller than me. So I'd probably make him in at what, 6'2", 6'3"?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah. Commanding presence, potential long-term goalkeeping solution. I would suggest that he is a keeper for the future because it's a shame we ain't got Matt on. But I would say normally keepers probably peak between 28 and 33.
Yeah, probably about that. Yeah.
And he's got 5 years. And I think, his potential to go there. Don't know a lot about him, do you?
Absolutely nothing, mate. It's completely out of left field. We weren't the only club linked in that article, so want to keep an eye on. But I'm not being funny. We need 2, if not 3 goalkeepers this window now with the situation that we're currently in. So
Yeah, I think we're
ultimately,
probably looking to feed because there's rumour that George Evans is going as well, isn't there? Or gone.
is that excellent?
I've seen a couple of rumours about
Well,
allegedly he is. Whether or not he is or not, I don't know what his contract is. But yeah, I mean, I can't see it, but maybe. But yeah, we'll wait and see on there. So yeah,
if that's the case, then we definitely need at least
two or three. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think we
so-
need two are good.
one. If he's a young player with a bit of potential to grow in the shirt, why not?
Yeah, no, that's it. That's it. So yeah, obviously all your comments are coming up. We will sit there and highlight and then come back to a lot of them. So yeah, yeah, Cresswell isn't a Leeds player anymore. He plays for Marcel.
Toulouse.
I'd say Toulouse. That's it. So yeah, he seems to be loving it there, doesn't he? So yeah, Sculling is a Borner. I live in Liverpool, so I drive down if he signs. Billy, you're not a Scouser though, are you? You're a Cockney, aren't you? Living in Liverpool. You're not a Scouser, surely. Come on. Charlie Wazan, I personally don't think we've seen enough of Sturge. I think let him have some more time if we do get him and see where he is at maybe one in the future. So yeah, we're getting behind now. Happy with Sturge. My bad lads show I know nothing about football apart from Wall. Sturge is a tea drinker, so that's a bonus. SLP is dead. Yep. Oh, Bobby's on. Hello, Bobby. Bobby Millwall, lunatic Bobby, not our Bobby. It's almost like the BBC have an agenda. Yeah, they've never forgiven us over. I tell you, before we go on to Jaffe, the BBC do have an agenda about it. So they've done us over with Panorama, and what was that, 78, I think it was.
Yeah,
and then when I was found on the board, they wanted to do a piece on black fans and families coming to the game, which they couldn't get the red round. There was a guy who's on the Radio 2 breakfast show, the West Brom lad. He does the travel or the weather or whatever. I had a meeting with him in a pub in West London, in central London, and he told me what he wanted to do. And we said to him then, look, if you're looking to do a good news story, that's great. The club will support it and we'll back it and everything else. And they went, no, it is. So they planned to come down on a Saturday. It was a family day. There was everything going on. I think there potentially was going to be Jimmy's day then, so it'd have been good. All the families, they wanted to focus on, our reputation, but the fact that families come to the game and, all different races and colours and everything else come, and they wanted to do a good news story. Anyway, that's what he wanted. The producers got involved and they wanted to come down. So it changed from a nice summery evening sort of shot where it was okay on a Saturday, where it's going to potentially be a bit nicer weather, to a Tuesday night, raining, pissing down, fucking horrible game. And they wanted to come and do the filming then. So fair play to Billy Taylor. He agreed with me that they were fucking up to no good. And yeah, stopped them filming inside the ground. You can see the piece they did. It's out there and available. I think Quincy was in it and stuff. And but yeah, the BBC's always had an agenda. There's been a few. They stitched up the guys who've done the tour. They wanted to have a tour with them about Millwall, and then suddenly turn it into all about hooliganism and all of this sort of stuff. So yeah, BBC Sport, BBC Radio. Our philosophy is, if you're doing a live show and you want us on for 5 minutes, we'll always do it. If it's a pre-record, not interested, because pre-records you can edit things to make it sound however you want. So if it's live, yeah, no problem, because we can play that back and go, that's actually what we said. But other than that, no, BBC are always had an agenda, mate. That Villa keeper is Polish, by the way. Oh, is he? Okay, fair enough. Bend over, kick your bollocks. Right, anyone else old enough to remember the Ruskies Big Mick signed? God, that'd be an interview and a half. Well, one of them's dead, I think, but yeah. All this mental health, be kind and all that don't apply to the media when it comes to Millwall. No. We're linked with Dutch midfielder Rusty Nels. I have a big one. 167 centimetres is what I said, 5'5". That's the same size as Dan Riggs. Fuck Palace, fuck thingy. Yep. It's really easy now that you can scroll through the comments because they're all on the screen anyway. So people are seeing them and you don't have to worry about it. And then we go forward. So, okay. Just serve in Harrods. He told me he might be going. He spent £700 on perfume. If he goes Palace, I will hate him. Okay. I don't think he'll be going there. Jaffet. Let's talk about Jaffet because, again, this really surprised me. You know, Richard Cowley obviously has no loyalty to any newspaper organisation now. Unfortunately, South London Press has gone. He is out there on his own, earning a living, paying his rent, which I get. But he's known about this Tango reported release clause for probably 2.5 months. Because his agent's been going around shouting about it. Everybody knew about it. And yet no one decided to say anything about it because why are you going to tell people who might not know on a public forum? But it's out there. He's put it out there that it's 1.2 million. I think that if you look at it realistically, it's only for Premier League. So Championship, La Liga, because there's supposed to be quite a few La Ligas sniffing around. If you read some of the Spanish media and stuff, they're looking at him. Championship, it will be a lot higher than that. They will have to pay for him. But you got to look at Prem and go, he failed 3 Prem medicals before he come here. Are a Prem club going to take a risk? Because
he also
you're not going to get insurance.
No, mate. He also. I don't want to slam the guy. He's been incredible for us. And what
fantastic! I can't fault him whatsoever. And if the rumours are correct about the release clause, that it pretty much wipes Millwall's mouth, that it pays basically for the wages and whatnot, what he's earned up to that time, fair play to him. You know, I mean, Richard Cowley come out the other day and said that Aldo and Cav sorted that out. So you know, if that's true, then it's their doing. They're not here anymore. We got to suffer what they made. But to be fair, if it reported what's right and it wipes, the club wipes their mouth. We've had him for 2 seasons. I think that's fair enough. Yes, it'd be great if we could sell him to someone else and make some money on it. And if we could get that up to maybe 2, great. But I think without him, he saved us getting relegated.
100%, mate. So if you look at it that way, I think 2 years ago, if we weren't here online, we definitely go down. So that's £40 million of prize money or TV money straight off the bat. Around his ability, it's easy to forget he was at a Premier League club and ultimately didn't succeed there. He then went to Germany and didn't succeed there. He then come to us and he's done phenomenally well and he's turned it around. And you can never fault what he's done in the Millwall shirt. But I do think there's a bit of me, if I was him, I'll be sitting there thinking, I'm 26 years old. I've played 1 full season of football in my entire career. Am I that desperate to leave and potentially not play football again? I'm not sure I would be personally, but that's just me. On the Cowley stuff, my biggest question is I'm not really sure what purpose it's served, because as you said, every agent would have known this wasn't a new development.
I knew. I got told.
His agent would be touting that to every club already. All that article did was serve to piss Millwall fans off and rile people up, because without the context of his agent would have put that in, the club wouldn't have done that voluntarily.
You've got to right. This is what for people who don't realise. So you're my player, Frankie, right? Mm-hmm. I've put you into Millwall. So we know 4 years ago or so, right? You were being touted around playing for, potentially teams in Spain and Italy at 14, 15, 16 million pound player, which would have mean that you would have probably been on 50, 60, 70, 80,000 pound a week wages, right? Well, most agents worth their salt take 10% of most of your stuff. So realistically, they get a bit of your sign on and then they basically get a bit of your wages. They get 10% of your wages every week. So if you get paid weekly, they get paid weekly. And I found out the other day, which is really weird for an agent, that the club pays the agent. So you'll get the 80 grand. the agent gets the £8,000, you don't pay it. So, that's 16, what's that? That's 16, that's 32 grand a week. It's 32 grand a month. You come to Millwall where you suddenly, let's if we work that out, let's possibly wages, say between he's on between 10 and 15 grand a week, right?
Mm.
Which isn't unreal. But all of a sudden, that's 1,500 quid a week for the agent, and it's a lot less than what potentially he was going to be on. And all of a sudden you only need to stand outside the players' door and you see, Dan Riggs would probably say, you see him fucking, he'll speak to everyone, he's touting him around, he's fucking, he wants him out. But I just don't know if Tango wants out. I think Tango, realistically, it would make more sense for him to play another season, to then go to the Premiership clubs and go, the injury's fine. Look what I played last season. Look what I played here. The Championship is fast, it's heavy, it's quick. I'm doing great. I'm one of the best in this league in my position. And then move. I think going now, who's he going to go to? He's going to go to one of the clubs potentially what have just come up.
Yeah.
Because I can't see anyone on the top half of the table taking a risk. So he'll go to one of
the
the
ones
ones
that
that
come
come
up.
up.
1.2 million, mate. Because it's
Would you? Because you're not going to get insurance for him, and you're not going to get. You're talking that if that 1.2 million is to get him out of our door. That's not paying his wages. So then you're looking at if you take him on and take the risk. Say the medical goes, I don't know. So you take the risk. You're paying him that. You're probably paying him double, triple that. You're probably going to pay 40, 50 grand a week in wages. If he's suddenly in there 2 months and suddenly goes down, you've got to fulfill that contract because you're not getting insurance for him if you've taken him on after medical advice. So it is a gamble, same as what we've had to do.
It is a gamble. The difference is that if you was a Brentford, for example, that 4.5 million transfer outlay for his wages, agents' fees, medical, transfer fee is nothing to him, mate. That 4 million is nothing. That's an accounting error there, and they don't care. And the reality is, if they signed him for 1.2, from an FFP perspective, which I know we all hate it, it's boring, blah blah blah. But the reality is, if he then doesn't work out there in January, a club like Millwall, would we knock back on their door and go, "Oh, we'll have him back off you. How much?" And they go 3 million. We'd probably go, "Yeah, all right," because we know he's worth it.
Yeah,
for
maybe.
them, it's even if you don't rate him, you might as well pick him up.
Ozcan says, he must have had terms. That must have been terms of Tango to sign. I think it was because Tango failed free prem, and then basically we were in the lead. So I was led to believe we were in the leading seat, as in going, well, we don't want him. And I think it was one of the reasons why Tottenham released him, because he was still on contract and they released him. So it was like part and parcel. And I even think when we offered him a deal, I think he went to try and see, his agent went to see if he could get him one more go, because I think the last team, so the rumour is, and again, these are only alleged rumours, but was Luton. And he failed a medical at Luton. And then obviously he come back to us and we ended up signing him and then everything else. Because I think, the problem is that he thinks he's a Premiership player and should be playing in the Prem. But the problem is that why didn't Tottenham play him? If he was that good, why wasn't Tottenham playing him? Because at the time, Tottenham could have done with someone like him, but they weren't playing him. And again, all the time he's been at Tottenham, he was always being loaned out. And as you said, he's never really played more than a handful of goals at games, has he?
No, and he'd have been more valuable to Tottenham than anyone else because of European registration rules and stuff.
Yep, 100%.
And his loan move to Augsburg, something like that in Germany, was a failure. I don't think he played one game. I don't know. Ultimately, if you had said, if you're asking me now what do I think will happen, I think he probably does go, because someone will take the punt.
I think La Liga Serie A would probably be the best place for him. I think the Prem, as much as he wants to play in the Prem, I just think the Prem might be that little bit stretching himself that little bit too far. And also, warm weather, nice food, everything else would probably do him the world of good as well. Not that
If
South
I
East London
was him, if I was him, I'd jump at the league and move something like that because culturally, it's what a better experience than going to, no disrespect, Sunderland, living in the arse and nowhere in a fucking cold, or you can go sign for Real Betis. I know what I'd do, mate. But I don't know. I just think if I was him, I'd be seriously considering: is this the right thing? Would you rather not just with the way his career's gone and the waste of potential that he is so far looks like he's going to be in terms of, to your point, should have gone. He was linked with Inter or AC Milan, not that long ago.
Yeah. I think it was Inter Milan. Yeah.
Yeah. So for him to go from that to Millwall, no disrespect to Millwall, that's a fucking drop in it.
Yeah.
If I was him, I'd want to just play football. And if he's still a rich man. Do you know what I mean? You're still earning good money. I'm sure if he went to Millwall tomorrow and said, "All right, I want to stay. I want 20k a week. I want this, that, and the other. I want a £5,000 release fee." Gallagher will give him whatever he fucking wants. Do you know what I mean?
I think, I think that's the truth. I mean, where is it? There, London. Agents get 10%. My pal's an agent. I'm more than happy to see if he'd do a show with me. He might not want to put his face on because he represents players, but I'm sure he might come on a space under a dummy account, or he might just do a voice only, a podcast to tell you the truth, because I didn't realise until I was talking to him, because he keeps saying to me, he's got all the paperwork and all that. Like, do I want to learn to be a football agent? And it's like, it's graft, especially now. It's graft because you've got to. There's so many different rules and regulations and all that. Pretty much now, if you get a Premiership player, it's great because you literally look after him. But if you get a lower league player, you've got to literally you've got your work cut out. And go from there. But yeah, no, it does. They get 10% of their wages, and most players get paid weekly as such. So yeah, it's based on a weekly wage as such, 20 grand a week, and then it's from there. So they get that. Premier clubs are signing keepers.
If anyone's questioning how much hard work it is, Tanganga's agent's been whoring him out like he's fucking Bonnie Blue for the last 6 months. So,
don't talk about that. That rumor what's flying around is
fucking hell,
truly terrifying. If
that
is
true,
true,
mate, what have you done?
I haven't done nothing. But you imagine if you're one of those, and for the last 6 months you've been living on the back of it with all your pals, giving it all the big un. I mean, to be fair, if it was one of us, we'd probably be sitting there going, really? I don't think I want you near me till you got fully tested. But if you're one of those what have been going around giving it all the big one on social media and all this, I bet if it comes out, that kid who got dragged out by his mum before he could, he's probably sitting there going, I love you, mum.
Yeah.
Cheers, mum.
I
love you.
Pals.
You know what I mean? So, yeah. Good evening, Charlie. Greetings from Amsterdam. Heard the same about Luton 1.2, I believe, is a steal for him. Yeah, I think it's a steal. Here go Palace. I heard. Who have I heard? Sheffield United wanted him but didn't get promoted. Potentially Sunderland. I think it will be a club that's probably gone up. So Sunderland maybe, or Burnley. West Ham, I think, were looking at him last season, but I can't see it.
Burnley just lost a centre-back as well, so they're obviously in the market.
So, we're waiting to see what's what. Let me just look at these starred ones, what I did earlier, because there was in. Do we have a strong window and lose Tanganga and the Serb? You see, now that's, again, there's certain bits being put out there from people. Take the Tanganga away. I think that's out of our hands. He'll either go or he didn't, or he won't. I think that's there. Serb, I think I could see potentially someone maybe coming in. But again, I just don't think he's the finished article and he's going to be another essay, where it's a Premiership club going to come in and offer bundles to take him to stop someone else taking him? Or is it worth us keeping him for another season? Let him score. I'm not going to put a number on it. Let him score a mountain of goals. And then we can get, if he scores double digits next year, then potentially his value is going to be 20, 25 million, isn't it? Especially for a 100%. Striker. So I think it's worthwhile that we look at there now.
GC London. Hopefully he's not got another fucking release clause. So if he has a release clause for 12 million, I think I might be done, mate.
Palace are favourites to sign. I don't think he has a release clause. And if we went for 12 million, it'd be a result because we paid way less than that. So yeah, Palace are favourites to sign Tanganga. I see Sunderland also keen. Daily Millwall, I did see it, and I'm not going to put it up at the minute because we'll wait until he joins and then we can take the piss. Do you think, no, that was wrong? Mickey talks short, you're just as bad as BBC. Yeah, they are, but you know, me and Omar can't talk really because we done a quiz show with them months back now. What, to be honest, Frankie and Omar were meant to do because my football knowledge is shit. But you see that we won. Just don't hold that candle too high for a couple down the line. So yeah, we did all right. We held our own. Yeah, I'll wait till the next one. So yeah. Right, where are we going? We come off this a little bit, but we come back onto it now. Right. Mill need to strengthen.
Yeah.
We know that. And this is your turn to get into the comments. Let me have a look. There's well over 100 of you looking. Come on. We've got 41 likes. Come on. How many of you you're not pressing like? Come on, you can sit there and press a like in. It's easy done. So yeah, do that for us. That'd be absolutely fantastic. So then, defence. Hutch, Wallace gone. Centre back depth is essential. Is what? Tango and Crammer.
Tango, Crammer, Cooper, Harding technically, I guess.
Yeah.
But
so I say we definitely need someone there, don't we?
we definitely need at least one centre back. I think
we are
we need
looking
one.
at them. I sent you those ones earlier, didn't there? There was a load earlier. What were within the £3 million mark and maybe all over the world to see. Let's know what you. Don't tell us what areas yet because we're coming through. The areas what we're looking at is obviously defence, goalkeeper, wings, striker, and then we're going to go on to midfield balance. So we'll look at defensive. Is there anyone out there at the moment you think would be a good fit apart from Tango? Do you think would be a good fit? And then what's your stand? So Frankie, you're got more football knowledge than me, mate. So yeah, off you go.
I'm not going to reveal what players I think we should sign because I'm a bit of a spoiler. Myself, Jay, and another guest will be filming an episode this week, looking at exactly that. So stay tuned for them ones. But I mean, just in terms of positions, I think someone said earlier we need quality, not quantity. But in my head, I think we need at least 2 goalkeepers. I personally think we need a right back because Crammer's going to go centre back. You've then got Leonard as the only fit right back, who's 34, something like that. So we need a right back. We look like we're getting Sturge, so that's one. That's a left back. If we've lost Wintle, obviously on loan. We've lost Savile. We don't know what the situation is with Honeyman.
It's still open at the moment. I think he probably don't want to go, to be fair, because no one in their right mind would want to go live in Blackpool. But
no,
we'll wait and see.
At the minute, assuming at the minute he's out of contract, so assuming he's not staying, we would then need, in my opinion, at least 2 centre midfielders because our only fit midfielders would then be Mitchell, Denor, and then Kelly.
Dan Kelly,
if he's good enough, which is still remains to be seen. We need at least 1 striker, maybe 2.
You say that. I mean, there's rumour flying around in there that we're potentially looking at Coburn again. We've also got Nesbitt. But I suppose realistically, you've got to look at it that if, and I'm saying if Mihailo did go towards the end of the season, I suppose we've got to make sure that we've got strikers this part of the season to, at the window, so that in case that happens, so that we're not suddenly looking for strikers. And we don't know, Langstaff could suddenly find his right spot and go from there. Danny Mack's not going to be back playing on grass or being
No.
able to put weight on grass, I think, properly, as in a football capacity, before people come on and moan about him going, well, he's fucking been playing golf and all that. Yeah, it's all part of rehabilitation for him to be able to walk on it. But playing golf and playing football are two completely different things. So I'm hearing potentially November time before he can start getting, and then he's got to get back up to match fitness, same as, you know, Jensen. So, yeah.
And that's why I mentioned the right back, because in my opinion, I'm not sure we'll see Danny Mac this season.
We've got Lenny, though, haven't we?
Yeah, but you can't have one right back, mate. Particularly when Leonard, as we all know, he will get injured at some point throughout the year. He always does. But yeah, strikers. I think I think even if Ivanovic stays, we need a striker, because Ivanovic is good enough. The jury's still out on Nisbet. The jury's definitely still out on Langstaff. I personally think only one of them two will stay this season. I don't know who. So we still need to get a centre forward in, particularly if we want to play two up top.
Yeah, no, look, I agree. I think they need to find the right space for Langstaff, because if you don't, I think his value is going to go down and down and down. So yeah, I think, you know, you've got to sit there and look at it and all that. Let me just hit on this, right? Because there's loads of people there. I get sent loads of clips what people see from other shows and everything else, right? And I just want to eliminate this thing, right? So Lewis Travis being touted around, half the tramp, good experience in the middle, right? Lewis Travis is 27 years old, right? He has no sell-on value. He has no real benefit for us in the new format where we're going, right? We're not after journeymen. We're after, you know, players what are going to bring something to us. Yes, okay, he's got experience and whatnot, but what do you think the money he's going to be on? Is it worth that when you could probably buy two for the same price you're going to buy him? I honestly don't think he's a defensive midfielder, which is someone what we don't want. We want an attacking midfielder, a box-to-box, to be able to fulfill our centre forwards' abilities to be able to score goals. It just doesn't tick the box. But there seems to be, the last 2-3 seasons, there seems to be this, you know, this fascination about, oh, you know, Lewis Travis. Not for me. You?
I think if you want someone to come in and fill the gap that Savile's left, a bit of a enforcer, gets his foot in, knows the league, he probably is the nearest equivalent. I'm not sure I'd be spending £2 million on that. I think there's probably options out there you could get for, if you want someone to come in, just be a squad option that's going to be a bit of a shit house when you need him to, you could probably get someone for cheaper than that. Lewis Travis is a good player, though, mate. He's not, there's nothing, he's not to be sniffed at. Someone else put a comment in here about Tyree Stolen at Blackburn. Yeah, he's every time I've seen him play against us, he's been really, really good. And he's out of contract at Blackburn at the minute, so they've offered him a deal, but it's a bit up in the air because I think Blackburn are a mess. But
I see that as well. Obviously, send Carrot, where they've sacked Carrot. Would the new manager want to take a look at Coburn before deciding to sell him or not? Maybe. We'll wait and see on there. So yeah, let me know in the comments.
I think
they've
got Rob Edwards, or they're certainly looking at Rob Edwards. I don't know if he's been appointed yet.
Yeah, it's on the verge, isn't it, of Rob Edwards. So yeah. Thierry Small, again, he's gone. He's just signed for Preston on, you know, ridiculous money. Allegedly, I think he's on about 15 grand a week. I just don't think he's worth that. Do you?
No. I saw him a couple of times last season.
And he's unproven. And he's unproven. He was playing for Charlton, wasn't he? He's unproven in the Championship. So you've got to look at there. Mark Murphy. He's
a left back that couldn't get a game at left back and had to go to right midfield. I'm not sure he starts. Who does he displace in our squad?
No, that's it. But no, I agree with you. Mark Murphy, lifetime of member of the Langstaff Supporters Club, mate. Well done. Thank you very much.
That makes two of you, does it?
Yeah, but is he a baller in League One or is he a baller in Championship? Because there's a difference. We'll see how he is. Lovelace and Matthews both back. both getting on the verge. I think. I think Lovelace can play in plenty of different positions. Same as Langstaff. Langstaff can play wing, 10, 9. So I suppose
on the bench.
The benefit. Fuck off. The benefit is this, right? We have got a whole. And when did the players come back in 13 days?
Mm.
So for this time, Alex Neil's going to have a long time of being with the players before the season starts, of actually instructing, doing stuff on the pitch. He's in plenty of interviews last season. He was just saying that he didn't have enough time with them. He weren't doing a lot. He couldn't get a lot of time on the grass because of, the fixtures and everything else. So hopefully we might suddenly get players playing well. Lovelace, Matthews. Matthews is supposed to be a good little player. So, realistically there, you're looking, okay, Langstaff, Lovelace, Matthews, Nesbitt, Mihilo. You've got 5 strikers there pretty much, haven't you?
Yeah, this is the thing, mate. And I think just now I listed about 9 players I think we need. Don't get me wrong, if Dan Kelly, Massey, Benicio Baker, and the ones you've named yourself all come in and do a job, that then takes a lot of pressure off that window, doesn't it? And hopefully 1 or 2 of them can break in the pre-season.
Borough podcast, call us a Borough B team. Which Borough podcast? Because I know if it's my mate's one. If it is, I'll take the piss out of him. AJ will have a blinder. Yeah, let's crack on through some of those. Oh, yeah, we've got Adam Mayo as well, haven't we, coming back? Really? Or is he left? No, he's left. No, he is. He's on.
I think he's still here, isn't it?
I thought he was still here. So, yeah, sort of 23s that we're going to read. Massey and Kelly stood out. You see, Kelly's allegedly supposed to be having not a bad little time. And it was just that he had a falling out with Harris, I think, again, over everything what went on. It was just, he just weren't playing players. So, yeah, we'll see.
That being said, though, mate, he might have filled out Harris. He made 2 appearances last season. Both of them were under Harris. He didn't play for Neil once.
No, because he was injured as well. He had a calf injury, so... And every time he was coming back and he was doing training, it went again. So yeah, so that Olusegun could be the right sort of gamble for the wings with pace and creativity. I agree with you there, GC London, that Dan Kelly looks like he does need to, he does need a couple of home cooked meals, mate. Striker's still lacking a clinical edge. Totally agree. Maybe that's what Nesbitt's for. Joke. Midfield balance we need to do there. Anything else you want to go on where we need to strengthen? I think we've covered it, and you're going to be going through your players shortly on another show. So
that's good for me, mate. On that, so I think, despite the fact that we had a good January, I think there's still a lot of work to be done in this window. And if we want to get the squad to a position, it's not the first team; it's the squad. If we want to get that to a position where we can actually properly compete for them top 6 places, I think we've got a bit of work to do. But I've got full faith that I've got full faith from what we've seen so far that Gallen will do it. So
no, me and you both. I mean, Dan Riggs obviously likes Cundall a lot. Calling him, he looks like a 9-year-old girl. Alfie Massey needs a chance to play well. So yeah. There's a question for you. We've been having it in the thingy before we move on to the fixtures, like for the pre-season. Where does Luke Cundall fit in next season? Where would you play him?
I think we only know the answer to that question if we know what formation we play next season. I was surprised we went 2 up top and then it worked. So I imagine he'll stay with that. And if he sticks with the 2 up top, I don't know where Cundall gets in, to be honest with you, because he's not big enough to play centre midfield. If we go back to the 4-2-3-1, I think he's the attacking midfielder. But the whole time it stays 2 up top, I think he's a bit of a odd man out, to be honest.
Richard Lacey says Alfie Doherty, Luton, Millwall supporter.
Yeah.
So
left wing back. Yeah, good player.
Yeah, very good player. So then, pre-season friendly. We are going to Murcia again, off to sunny Spain. July the 15th, we're playing Northampton Town out there. And July the 18th, we are playing Chelsea. No, we're not. I just thought I'd say that just to get someone who will probably clip that and suddenly start going, whoa, we're not. We're playing Real Madrid. No, we're not. We could potentially play Man United because they got fuck all else on. But yeah, you know, then they're not in the World Club Championships, but they are, I think, in Japan or somewhere. So yeah, live streaming, I think will probably be taking place, but fans are allowed to go out there. I think Murcia is about an hour just over from Benidorm. So if you wanted to go see Sticky Vicky, Fred, shut the door, please. If you wanted to go see Sticky Vicky and alike in Benidorm first, and then, you know, jump in a cab or hire, probably, you know, hire, because there is nothing round near the stadium where they play. So it's probably better to drive out there and then drive back and then just rest up in Benidorm or Alicante or places like that. I think are all fairly close. UK friendlies. We are playing AFC Wimbledon. They are obviously the original, the only Wimbledon. That's a 7:30 kickoff, and that's away at Wimbledon on the 22nd of July. 26th of July, we have our usual Bromley, and then the 29th of July, we have our usual Sutton. They'll probably all do. They're probably 2 or 3, I think, are probably parts of loan agreements or you know, player agreements we've got.
Yeah.
So yeah, not too bad. I just wish we could get a decent opposition for once, just something what would test. But again, it was an interesting thing. I mean, we're coming to Youth Watch now, but it was an interesting thing what we said in the interview, what we did with Kevin Nugent, was Nick Hart from Acton Millwall said, he said, do you play to develop, or is it, you know, about winning and stuff? And he went, no, it's basically if Alex Neil turns around to him and says, I want you to play a back three, when he's got a load of his players coming in, then they play a back three or a back four. And there was an interesting point what he made, which is on the interview, is he said development is more important than winning. He said, if we can basically get a player to produce more headers and test him on headers, on set pieces or in the box, that's more of an advantage to us. And if we don't win because of that, but we've found that actually he can do X, Y, Z, then that's more of a benefit for us.
It is probably right there in the sense of when you're in at 21s, that's your time to learn, and that once you then step up, it's all about results. I do think that having teams that go on to win things like the Youth Cup, bringing that culture probably does help in the long run. And we talk about of England, don't we, a lot, that eventually developing that winning attitude and winning under 21s surely will start to bear fruit. Like it hasn't so far. But,
I've just realised we've got Bromley and Sutton United at the Den.
Nice.
That can't be right, is it? Have I written down? I think I might have. That might be me. I might have written down the wrong notes there, mate. Honest to God. I don't think we have. I don't think at all we have. Sorry, I've just read that out and I just wanted to clear that up. I don't think we have at all. I think we're away. All the games are away. You talk for a minute, mate, and I will confirm that.
Well, we are definitely playing Bromley and Sutton United somewhere.
So Wimbledon versus Millwall, so we're away there. And then tickets, Welling under 21s. Yeah, go on, keep saying what you going to chat. You can chat, go on.
What do you want to do, mate? Tell a fucking joke.
Tell a joke. Talk about youngsters, mate. Which youngsters are you excited about coming through?
There's a couple, mate. I think we've listed a lot of them already. And again, we're gonna plug this again. If you haven't watched it, watch the Nugent show, he mentioned quite a few. There's obviously quite a few people in that youth team now that we've actually brought into the club. So you look at the likes of, obviously, Lovelace has come back, Massey's coming through, Benicio Baker had a really good education at clubs like Brighton and stuff, and he's played at a good level. So we've got a few good players there, and AJ Matthews represented England a few times. So there's a couple of players there. I think in the pre-season, again, if anyone goes to these games, I'm sure that in all these friendlies there'll be a representative from that Millwall podcast, whether that's myself, Mick, Omar, Jay. I'm sure it'll be one of us down at all of these fixtures, but you know, it'd be worth it. These games are worth going to sometimes because you do see a player and you think, Jesus, he's got a bit about him.
Yeah, they are good. They are good. So I mean, I like going to them. I think they're great. I think they're interesting. We went to a load last year. So yeah, no, I was right. So Sutton is away,
Right.
and I would say Bromley is away if I'm honest, mate. But I can't see their websites really. Is it just me? But is Millwall's website really hard to navigate?
Yeah,
It's sort
for
of
tickets it is. Yeah, you go through 4 different fucking links every time.
yeah. So I mean, I've seen tickets for Sutton, seen tickets for Wimbledon. You can get tickets for Welling under 21s.
Mhm.
But I would say definitely that Bromley is away as well, to be fair, because it takes business over there. So I would say they're all away. Hence why it was only that Chris Brown suddenly said, "What's our home pre-season game?" And there ain't one. Because I think probably because of the refurb as well. I just don't think there is one. So yeah.
The thing is, I mean, sometimes it's a good excuse to go and visit a new stadium, isn't it? Reality is we're probably not going to play at AFC Wimbledon for a while unless we get them in the cup. So get down Plough Lane, new stadium, only recently built.
It's not Plough Lane no more, though, is it? Even though it is Plough Lane, but it's not
sponsored,
Plough Lane.
though, isn't it?
It's still
the
Cherry
Plough Lane.
Cherry something, in it?
Cherry
The Cherry Red Records Stadium.
I'm not calling it that, mate.
No. Right, bear with me 1 second. Let me get one of these cups for you, so that you know what's doing, so you can get involved. Well, there we go. I've got no idea what colour I've got, but they're all the same, just different colours. I think there's 2 blue, 1 red, and 1 green, and I've got the red. So there you go. So these are limited edition. There's 4 of these. The link is at the top of the show notes. So basically, let me go there. Is it focusing? So yeah, so it's got a shirt on, and then along the bottom, that could be because I've got blur on. Bear with me 1 second. Let me take the virtual background off. There we go. Right. So there you go. So it's got poppies on. It's got the soldiers all along the bottom and a big poppy there. It's a standardized cup to be able to drink through, and obviously the cap. And there are 4 of these, 1 green, I think it's 1 red, and 2 blue. And then basically you just hit the link on the top of this chat, and it will go into the description afterwards as well. It's a raffle, £5 a ticket. All the money, all of it goes to the trust, British Legion. It's basically British Legion. So thanks very much to Would You Believe It, who is our merchandise partner. And then, yeah, go from there. There are pictures. If you click on that link, what I've posted, there is a better picture, and I'll get you some better pictures done over the next couple of days and add them up or put them on social, because I will be sitting there promoting it a bit. But yeah, it's a chance where we can just raise for the trust some money. So yeah, it's blurring, but it's done.
How much is it for 5? I'd say
it's just a £5 a ticket. It's just like a raffle. So yeah, you can buy whatever you want and then go from there, mate. So yeah, it's
minute the show's closed, get in the link. It's the best £5 you'll spend today, all going to a good cause.
Yeah, and I think there's a few There's only a few what's done it, and it's quite open, so it tells you what's what, how many people have done. So I mean, I think there's ticket prices there are done, and I think there's probably about 4 or 5 what I've done in a minute. But yeah, so yeah, there's 2 blue, 1 green, 1 red. If you go on that link, there's really good images of it. There's a poppy stuff with our logo in the middle. It's this year's logo. And then, yeah, you just share from there, mate. You can click and share as well. Share it across your socials, and the actual company that does it gives you an option of potentially putting you into a draw to win a prize. If you share it on your Facebook, share it on your, what do you call it? It's, yeah, raffle. It's RAFFALL. I'll post it up on Twitter afterwards, and I'll post it in the show notes here as well on YouTube. So yeah, you can get in there, but it is right at the top. If you go right up to the comments, it is there. I think I'll put it on again for you. So I've just put it on the comments now again. Click on there, and yeah, every pound note goes to them. So yeah, please do get involved. Again, 58 of you have liked. Chris Brown, I'll be in touch, mate. I've got something for you, so don't worry, for winning the prediction league, which we'll probably be doing again this year. But we've got a potential sponsor for it and some great prizes. So yeah, that's all good. I think we're pretty much done, haven't we, Frankie? We've got the youth. We've done the youth. I suppose really just head on to tactical outlet for the new season. Do you think it's probably going to be a pressing 4-2-3-1 again, and just solid defensive and go for it?
I can't see him staying with the 2 up top personally. I think there'll be games when he goes back to it, and I think there'll be games when he goes to a back 5. I think I can genuinely see us being one of them teams next year where we haven't really got much of a formation. You know, we just chop and change. So I think it'd be quite interesting next year, because I think Neil's one of the better managers we've had that can actually make them sort of tactical adjustments.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on there. Coming on to some of the comments, Fantasy League, yes, that'll be around again, but there'll also be there'll probably be the boys doing the Premier League one as well, and that. So yeah, we'll have a few links for you on there. There is a new show the lads are doing, what we'll have the Fantasy League in, I think. But yeah, it's going to be there's quite a few new bits from us coming this year. Sunday we got a new show out, which is a first, which is called Utter Woke Nonsense. It's Frankie's idea, so if it's shit, just blame Frankie. But no, it's a good little show we did. So we'll be back on Sunday with that. That'll be a pre-record. Probably put that out Sunday morning, maybe, for you to have a listen to. And then I've got a Who Are You going out, which will probably go out in the week, or potential for next weekend, which is done with a guy who's traveling around South America. You've probably seen him on TikTok. We've done a show with him. And then, yeah, we've got some other Who Are You to do. I've got a couple of ex-players lined up who are Millwall supporters for that one as well, so that'll be good. And then, yeah, you've got I think Omar's got a couple of shows lined up. You've got a couple of shows lined up. Gary Lineker-based show. No, Daily Millwall. When are we on next? We'll be back on next Friday. Well, fuck it, we'll just do this. We'll do it now with old stuff, and then once the new stuff comes in, then we'll have a complete new rebrand, and you'll see all the new songs, the images, and everything else. So yeah, the morning after should do a live on a Sunday discussing Saturday's game. Yeah, well, that's already done, but that won't be us. That will be on a space rather than YouTube. But that's coming in. So yeah, you'll see. We will release shortly of what we've got coming. But obviously, unfortunately, there are people out there that seem to enjoy our content so much they copy it, and we don't want to give people any time to prepare for what we've got. So you'll like it. I think we like it, and we've got some big surprises coming. So yeah, I think 25-26 season is going to be a good season for everyone. Premiership bound. Come on, no. Will we batter them daily? Yeah, I reckon so. So yeah. Cheap imitations. Yeah, that's it. I'm done. You done? Anything you want to say?
The only thing I was going to say, I don't know if you saw it, mate, but the club was sending out emails today to season ticket holders asking them for feedback on match day experience and stuff. So if you haven't filled it in yet, fill it in, give me feedback, let them know how shit the club shop is. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. And if you've got anything good to tell them, yeah, I mean,
I think it's your opportunity.
It's good that they're asking, isn't it? Ultimately,
is it from them or is it the Millwall supporters?
The email come from Millwall.
Excellent, because I think it's better that the club sits there and gains it, you know. And I think you just need to be honest with it. There is the memorabilia auction. What's going on? If you've not seen it yet or lived in a box, there's a load of old chairs and old pictures and old bits of signage and everything else available if you're interested in all of them. And yeah, that's it. Fucking hell. Billy Smith, we're good at what we do. We're fucking not miracle workers, mate. So yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to next season. I think the fans area is rumoured to be a little bit better. So yeah, I'm excited for next season. We've got a couple more shows before fixture release, and then we've got the Friday night after fixture release, or maybe we move that to the Thursday on fixture release. Who you want, what's not. We've got a few shows lined up, so yeah, all good. That's it. Make sure you get involved in that raffle. I will post some stuff on Twitter and here over the weekend with some better pictures for you, some links. It's not for us, it is for military. They are Millwall veterans, the fans what are doing the trek. So all the money we get, they have to pay for it themselves to do it. Whatever we raise on this just helps them out. So, it's just a little thing from us, nothing major, but it obviously needs you guys to do it. I'm all done. I think massively. You done?
Yes, mate. Good.
Oh, giddy up and get away. Oh, we're going Millwall, and we're going today. Here we go. Rocking all over the day.